Welcome, everyone. It is Thursday at 3 o'clock, so it's live at Epiphan. And today we actually have an interesting show. For those of you out there who are existing Epiphan Pearl customers, this is going to be really exciting for you because we're talking about all things that we put into the new Pearl firmware update 4.13. And kind of breaking that down in detail. Which
it's kind of like a continuation from last week, right, George? Because we did the Epiphan Cloud stuff, and the reason this firmware came out now is because it was tied intrinsically to some of the things we did at Epiphan Cloud. So it is a busy week here.
Yeah, they absolutely go hand in hand, and that's, from the support side, that's one of the things that a few customers have already encountered is, they really need to update Pearl before you try and do a whole lot in the new cloud stuff. So they do very much go hand in hand. So keep that in mind. But even just for non-cloud stuff, some of the things we put in 4.13, I think are actually going to be really, really helpful for a lot of our customers from really a quality of life and troubleshooting perspective, putting a lot more power into the hands of the operator. And we're going to show you some of that and talk about it.
Cool. Well, why don't we get started and jump right in? I know you have some show and tell that we're going to point to here. I've got a few slides that we can use to sort of walk us through what we're going to talk about. So it's the firmware is 4.13 or 4.13. That's the version. And let's go to it. So first thing is Epiphan Cloud support. We mentioned that. If you don't know about Epiphan Cloud, check out our episode from last week where we kind of go over all the things you may wish to do with Epiphan Cloud. It's pretty powerful for Pearl customers. And George, this is kind of your kettle of fish. So tell us about these network diagnostics.
Yeah, this fixes so many, or at least gives people the tools to fix so many of my pet peeves when it comes to Pearls. So this is the one I'm really excited for. And that is we've managed to build in a bunch of network diagnostics and troubleshooting tools directly into the Pearl. I'm going to show you exactly what that looks like, both on the front touchscreen and in the web UI in a little bit. But this includes stuff like a bandwidth test, just connectivity diagnostics on one screen with just simple red-green checkbox kind of things. So there's a bunch of things that are now built into the Pearl that will help people, especially we have a lot of customers who take their Pearls on the road and plug into, networks
hotel
that are not,
internet.
Yeah, hotel internet is the best example. These diagnostics, they'll be able to go to one screen and get all the answers on connectivity, including, are they behind, a portal? Are they behind like a captive portal? Is DNS working? All these other things that
is this
we
just
run
your
into.
covert? Is this a covert support issue where you got tired of getting phone calls about
pretty
network
much.
issues? So you talked to our developers? Okay.
Yeah,
it kind of looks like it.
Yeah, some of it definitely comes from that for sure. No. I mean, it helps with that certainly.
Yeah.
But this, we do have some of our customers, and we have one customer that has a lot of Pearls in their fleet that they actually kind of rent out and send on site, and they're being plugged in to hotel networks and all kinds of different places, and the operators on site don't have administrative access. They can get this information now on the screen and know what's going on. Instead of us having to just guess, we can get the answers right away. So this is going to be an awesome tool for customers like that.
Amazing. Okay, why don't you give us a tour? Show us the real thing.
All right, so what I'll do first is I set up a second camera. I don't have the best physical space for this, so I apologize in advance, but I'm going to switch cameras and show you guys a close-up of my Pearl Mini touchscreen here at home and show you what some of those menus look like. So let's jump over there. So on the Pearl Mini touchscreen, many of those people who already own a Pearl will be familiar with this, but there's a number of different menus for things like network and system status. Now, if we go into the network, there's a page here specifically for connectivity status. And this is the one I was talking about that's going to be really awesome. Right away, it tells me whether or not I'm even plugged in, DNS is working, captive portal is good or not, different ports that we might use frequently, like for our web UI or for streaming, things like that. Whether or not we can hit Epiphan Cloud or whether that's being blocked by a firewall. All of that is kind of built in. We also have tools here for doing all kinds of different things, including checking your DNS, doing a bandwidth test, which I'm going to run right now. Now, this isn't going to reflect my actual available because we're obviously using a chunk for the live stream right now. But instead of telling people, plug a computer into the same network, go to speedtest.org, run your test, do all this stuff, you can now do that directly from the front of your Pearl and get those results to know what your connection speed actually is, so that you can then obviously make some adjustments accordingly if you need to.
And George, I'm guessing you can do all of this stuff from the web UI as well, right? It's not,
yeah,
these
exactly.
are not just front screen controls. Okay.
Exactly. For you, big time network nerds, you need to figure out whether the IT staff are blocking everything you're trying to stream. There's a probe tool, so you can go in and specifically look at, which ports, and you can see here 80, 443, 554, 1935. These are all common ports used for accessing the web UI as well as for streaming protocols. So again, all these tools are kind of built in there. It's really cool. And you can also ping from there. Pearl had a ping tool in the web UI before, but now you can do it directly from the front touchscreen as well. So you can find out, hey, can I ping youtube.com and see whether or not the connectivity is working. So that's really cool. There is some other stuff here as well. So there's also Epiphan Cloud status. Now I am paired to an Epiphan Cloud account right now so that our producer can remotely control my Pearl. But if it wasn't and I needed to get it paired to cloud, I could get my pairing code from the touchscreen now. I used to have to go into the web UI, but now I can do that directly from the web UI so that, again, maybe an operator on site doesn't have admin access and they need to get it paired so that a remote admin can do it. You can get that pairing code from the front screen now. So that's really cool.
That's very cool. This is going to make life for anybody who's in IT way easier. It's also going to be way easier for anybody who is trying to talk to somebody on IT and they're saying it's not working, and they can just say, okay, dummy, go to this page, tell me what you see here, and all that information is going to be hugely helpful.
Yeah, so I'll quickly show what it looks like here in the web UI. I'll just have to share my screen here for a moment. But I'll just have to get you to stop sharing your slides there for a moment.
Oh, yeah, sure.
I'll take over that portion. So again, this will be really, really quick. Basically, it's very similar to what I just talked about on the front touch screen, where, most of this is going to live under the network section of the admin UI. But this also is going to show you some of the other features we've added, like dynamic DNS. So again, this is definitely more for a network nerd thing, but DynDNS, some DHCP methods for fully qualified domain names. These are things we've added for the really hardcore network people. But then also all of those tests are here. I'm not going to use some of these because, for example, if I do that connectivity test, it'll actually tell all of you what my public IP is. So I'm not going to do that right now. But you as a user, if you did this, it will tell you what your public IP is. And if you're doing something like SRT connections, that might be valuable information to know. And so that's something that Pearl can tell you now.
Come on, George, we need stuff for our Epic Fails episode. Come on.
What do you think Contribute. I am, Adam Palmer here? Come on. So there's some great stuff in here. And I'm really excited to see how this helps customers self-serve, with a lot of these tools. So let's maybe talk a little bit about some of those other features. Let's go back to your slides.
Okay, one sec. Oh, you got to quit sharing.
Yeah. So I mentioned in there DynDNS, the dynamic DNS. That's one of the things we added, but we did put a bunch of other things in there. I would say most of these are really just quality of life updates. They're not necessarily huge features. They're going to be kind of corner cases for some people, really important for others. So one of them is the recorded video upload, the AFU stuff, the automatic file upload rules. There's actually like a real scheduling system there now, which is cool. For Pearl 2, we updated the NDI version to 4.5, which also includes some cool features as part of NDI, like discovery across subnets, which is something previous NDI versions could not do. So that makes it, again, easier for larger deployments of NDI to cross subnets. I mentioned the DHCP stuff option. Let's actually read option 81, but it's fine for fully qualified domain names. And then again, most people are not going to run into this unless they absolutely have to. But increased hash algorithms for HLS push and MPEG dash push to increase the encryption levels on those stream publishing types. And then for our users out there that are using Pearls paired with Panopto as their content management system, improved some of the storage alerts there. So again, a lot of this is quality of life stuff, but I think some customers are really, really going to love some of these things.
Beauty. That's everything that is part of 4.13. So for anybody who has a Pearl, you can get this right now. This is available. It'll show up on your admin as saying, hey, there's a firmware update available. If not, I think there's a little button that you can push that says, check for firmware, and you can get this. And it's free, of course, to any Pearl customer. So update
exactly.
now.
And once you've updated to 4.13, if you want to play around with all the tools that we have in Epiphan Cloud now, update to 4.13, create an Epiphan Cloud account, pair your Pearl to that, and even as a free account, there's a ton of control and abilities built into Cloud now that is really awesome. And of course, last week we talked about that. So check that out and enjoy playing with it.
Okay. This may be our shortest episode ever.
Well, we've got to draw it out for at least another 3 minutes here. Otherwise, we don't hit the 15-minute mark.
You don't get paid by the minute, George. I don't know. You've been doing this for a while. You should know that. This is not a...
Well, funny enough, kind of joking around about that, but next week's episode, we're going to have an interesting topic. We're going to be discussing some format changes coming to this show. I don't want to reveal anything here, but for our longtime viewers, I see some of them in chat, like Linda and Kim, Tim Trott. You're going to want to tune in next week to learn about some of the things that we have in mind going forward for Live at Epiphan. So that'll be next week's show, Thursday at 3 o'clock Eastern time, and we'll go through all that. So make sure that you are following, liking, subscribing, sharing, doing all those things. If you know a Pearl user who did not watch today, make sure you share this video with them so that they know what's new and can get excited about it as I am. So that'll do it, I think.
That's it. Yeah. Thanks, George. Thanks, Cameron. Thanks, everybody who's been watching today.
No,
we'll
thank
see you next
you,
week.
George.
Okay. See you later.
Bye-bye.